thanks for joining me today. My name is Erica and I'm going to be teaching a yoga class. So unfortunately, we can't practice on campus this year, but that's okay because myself and some other instructors are making some videos for you guys to exercise along to. Before we get started, I want to suggest to you guys, if you have any other devices that can play music, to take a second, pause this video, get that device, find whatever music you want to put on, and then start this video up again. If you don't have another device where you can play music, that's okay, don't worry about it. Before we get started, last thing I want to remind you guys of is if you try any of these exercises today and it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Always listen to your body. So we're going to start with the warm-up so we can warm up the muscle groups we're going to use, and then we're going to get into some more yoga. So let's start in any comfortable seated position, and we're going to take the same warm-up we did the other day. So we'll just take some neck rolls, dropping your chin to your chest and slowly rolling the head around. So we're going to start our warm-up loosening the muscles in the neck and the shoulders. And make sure you go both directions. Now let's start some shoulder rolls, big rolls, shoulders up to the ears and down the back. Loosening the muscles in the shoulders now, and see if you can go both directions with this too. Let's place our hands at our sides and we'll belly twist to the right, placing right hand behind us and left hand in front. Make sure you're looking to the back of the room. Nice and slow, we're going to belly twist to the opposite side. And then return with our hands at our sides. Bring one arm up to the ceiling and find side bend. So we're stretching our belly now. Getting a nice stretch on the side of the belly. And then let's switch sides. Opposite arm up. And then both hands down. Stretch your right leg forward. And we're going to reach for the toes. If you can't touch the toes, that's okay. Just reach forward. We want a nice long stretch in the leg. Make sure you're not holding your breath. And then we'll switch. So left leg comes forward and we're going to reach for the toes. My left leg's always much tighter than my right. Now extend both legs forward and we're going to reach for both of our toes, or both of our feet, I should say. Take a few breaths here. Now bring the bottoms of the feet together into a butterfly pose so we can stretch the hips. And then come back to a cross leg position. From here, we're going to place our hands on our knees and we'll round our spine, dropping our chin to our chest. And then we'll lift and arch the spine, looking up to the ceiling. One more time, round the spine, and then lift and arch. Now we're going to start some of our poses. So let's come to a standing position at the top of your mat. If you don't have a mat, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just whatever you're at, maybe on the carpet or on a towel, whatever. It's not important. I'm actually going to stand facing you guys because you'll see me a little bit better this way for the first exercise. So the first time through, we're going to take the poses a little slowly so we can make sure everyone's practicing safely and everybody knows the poses. And then we're going to speed it up until it looks kind of like a weird dance. So for the first one, we're going to start with our feet together. And we're going to bring our arms overhead. We're going to sway side to side, side to side. Bring your hands to your hips. We're going to make some circles with our upper body around the hips. So lean around the front, come around the back. This time we're going to change directions. So opposite direction this time, one full circle. And then we'll place our hands by our sides. We'll forward fold, so gently bend your knees, bring your belly to your thighs, and let your arms and your head hang heavy. We're going to take a few breaths here, nice and slow the first time through. And then we'll roll our spines up to a standing position. Take your time, because we want to stretch the muscles in the spine, and then stand nice and tall at the top of your mat. So this time we're going to do it a little bit faster. Bring the arms overhead. Sway side to side, side to side. Hands to hips. Let's make those circles. One direction and then the other. Hands at your sides, forward fold, bring belly to thighs. And then round the spine back to standing, nice and slow. We want to take that part nice and slow each time. Last time through, a little bit faster this time. Bring your arms overhead, sway side to side, side to side. Hands to hips, make some circles. And in the other direction. Find the folds, belly comes down to thighs, and we'll slowly round our spines back to standing. Okay, so that was our first one. In that series of poses, we got a nice stretch for our legs and forward folds. We were working our core with our circles, and we were stretching the sides of our bodies with our arms extended. So now let's move on to our next one. We're going to start almost the same way with our feet nice and close and our hands on our hips. We're going to start this one by jumping and separating the legs. When you jump, be careful, bend the knees a little bit. And we're going to turn the toes so they face towards one another. We're going to lean forward so we can bring our hands all the way down to the floor. Now it might get a little tricky here. We're going to turn to our right. We're going to turn our right foot so we can come into a lunge. My left foot, I'm going to lift the heel so I'm on the ball of my foot. So I'm in a lunge position. My right knee is stacked right over my ankle. Then I'm going to walk right back to how I started with my feet facing one another and my hands in the middle. Make sure you move your feet to follow. Same thing on the opposite side. We're going to go to the left. My left foot turns forward and my right heel lifts off the mat. We'll walk back, hands in the center and feet facing one another. Take your hands to your hips, slowly rise to standing because we don't want to get dizzy, and then we'll jump the feet together. So a little bit faster this time. Start with your hands on your hips and your feet together. Jump and separate the legs, nice big jump, and turn the toes in. Bring your fingertips down to the floor. We're going to turn to the right and walk into a lunge position. Make sure the left heel comes off the mat. We'll come back to start with hands in the center. Walk to the left, come into lunge. Walk back to center. Hands to hips, rise up to standing, and jump the feet together. Last time, a little bit faster. If you find that you're a little bit wobbly, that's okay. Jump and separate the feet. Bring the hands down to the floor. Walk to the right, come into lunge. Come back to center. Walk to the left, into lunge. Back to center. Hands on your hips, slowly rise up and jump the feet together. So in that one, we were getting a nice long stretch in our legs, a nice long stretch in our spines, and since we were jumping about, we were picking up our heart rate a little bit. So now we're done with what we're gonna do standing up. We're gonna finish our standing series with some balancing poses. I'm gonna turn to the side so you guys can see me a little bit better. We're gonna start by putting all the weight in our left leg and start with your hands on your hips. Bend the right knee and see if you can reach down and grab a hold right at the ankle. And then we'll set the foot back down to the floor. Was that easy? We're gonna do it again. Bend the right knee and reach for the ankle. And step the foot down to the floor. We're gonna do the same thing one last time. See if you can hold it this time for 10 seconds. If you can't, that's okay. Are you wobbly? 3, 2, 1, and step the foot down. Bend those knees, give that standing leg a break. We're gonna switch sides, so all the weight's in the right leg. Bend the left knee and reach for the ankle, and step the foot down. Bend the left knee, and step the foot down. Last time, we're gonna hold it for 10. Was one side easier than the other? We're holding here and release. Bend the knees, that standing leg needs a break. So now we're gonna take a seat on our mat, and the next poses we're gonna do in a seated position, which is my favorite. So we're gonna start in a tabletop position. So get on your hands and your knees. And like I said before, we're gonna start slow the first time through, and then we'll pick up speed. For this one, I want you to stretch your right leg back behind you and stretch your left arm out in front. And come back to tabletop. Do left leg and right arm and back to tabletop. So that pose challenges your balance a little bit. Maybe you find that you're a little bit wobbly. Round your spine into cat pose. Lift and arch your spine into cow pose. And back to tabletop. Bring your elbows down to the mat. And then sit your hips back on your heels. Round your spine, back to tabletop. Okay, a little bit faster. Right leg extends, left arm extends, and tabletop. Left leg, right arm, tabletop. Round to cat, arch to cow, and tabletop. Elbows to mat. Hips to heels, and back to tabletop. Last time, a little bit faster. Right leg, left arm, tabletop. Left leg, right arm, tabletop. Round to cat, arch to cow, tabletop. Elbows down, hips to heels, and back to tabletop. So in that one, we worked on our balance a little bit more. We worked with our spine as we rounded and arched. And we got a nice long stretch for our spine. So here's our last one before we take our cool down. This one we're gonna do on our back. So lay flat on your back and place your feet on the mat. Place your arms down the sides of your body. Make sure your palms are face down. And if you can't touch the back of your heels with your fingertips, then walk your feet in a little bit. Bend the elbows so fingertips face up to the ceiling. We're gonna press into our arms and our feet to lift our hips up and bring the hips down. Bring your knees into your chest, give them a squeeze, pull them close to your body. Hold here for a few seconds for the first time through. Then extend both legs up to the ceiling. Hold on to the back of your thighs. We're going to hold here for a few seconds. Then bring your feet down to the mat. Bring the bottoms of your feet together and open the knees. And extend your arms overhead. I like to call this a Spider-Man pose because I imagine this is what Spider-Man looks like as he's shooting webs out of his hands or hanging upside down from a web. And Spider-Man's my favorite superhero, by the way. Then after this, we're going to draw our knees together and place our arms back at our sides. A little bit faster this time. We start with the elbows fit, remember? Lift the hips, lower the hips. Knees to chest and legs up. Feet to floor. Come into Spider-Man pose, bottoms of the feet together, arms overhead, and the knees together and arms at our sides. Last time through, a little bit faster. Start with the feet a little bit separate and bend the elbows. Hips up, hips down. Knees to chest, legs up, feet down. Spider-Man, arms up, and knees together. From here, slowly roll onto one side of your body and gently press yourself up to a seated position. In that pose, we worked a little bit more with strengthening our legs, opening our hips, and finding some length on the side of the body. Now to finish our practice, we want to finish with a cool down. So we picked up our heart rate, we put a lot of work in our muscles, and now we want to cool our bodies down. So go ahead and start in a cross-legged position and place your hands at your knees. Round your spine and lift and arch. Round your spine and lift and arch. Let's come onto our backs and keep your feet on the mat. Stretch your legs down onto the floor and bring your right knee in towards your chest, pulling the thigh nice and close to your body. And we're going to hold for a few seconds here. We're getting a nice stretch in our low back, and we're helping to massage our digestive system. So we're helping our body digest our food. Slowly let go of the leg and bring your left knee in towards your chest. Straighten the leg and bring both knees back into your chest and hold here. And nice and slow, we'll rock side to side, back and forth. Find some stillness and place your arms at shoulder height, palms face up. Let the knees fall all the way over to the right and turn your head to the left. We'll hold for a few seconds here. Bring the knees back to center. Let them fall over to the left and turn your head to the right. Bring the knees back to center. And then straighten your legs onto your mat or onto the floor. Make sure the legs are nice and separate. And then close your eyes. This might be the hardest part of our practice. We're going to see if we can stay still on our backs with our eyes closed for 30 seconds, starting now. Just letting your body cool down from all the exercise. See if you can stay still. We've got 10 more seconds. Nice and slow, we're going to roll over to the right side of our body, and we'll just pause here for a second. We want to move nice and slow. Press yourself up to a seated position and come into a cross-legged seated posture. We're going to finish our class today with 3 deep breaths. We're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. Give me a nice deep breath in, lift the arms overhead, and then exhale and lower the hands down by your sides. Deep breath in, arms up. Exhale, hands down. Last time, arms up and arms down. So I hope you guys enjoyed the class. I hope you got a chance to see my fish swimming around. He was hiding for a good part of the class, but if you happen to notice, he's got a SpongeBob house, and I also have a snail whose name is Gary. I hope you guys got to meet him. I think he's trying to hide. Enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your summer. See you later.